you ever come home and you know something's not right and you can smell cat urine? Or maybe you're worried you're going to have your neighbors, your friends over, and your house smells like cat urine. Maybe you've had to replace your carpet because of your cats. This is a common problem for many cat parents. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go deep into urinary concerns and what you can do as a pet parent to help them. I'm Dr. Katie Woodley with the Natural Pet Doctor, and this is our weekly coffee talk with the doc. And we're going to be talking about urinary problems with your cats. So as you join us, make sure you tell me who you are, where you're coming from, and if you're excited to learn how to help your cat use the litter tray. I've been there. I understand it. It's so frustrating. So as you join, put your questions in that you have. We're going to go and answer those as we talk about cats and urinary problems and natural remedies. Why does it happen? We're going to go through all of the things, and it's going to be focused on cats. But if you have questions about dogs, pop it in and we'll answer it. So first off, why? Why does this happen? Why do our cats not want to use the litter tray? Why do they prefer to go pee in the corner, pee on your clothes, pee on your bed? Who's been there? I've had a cat that she destroyed our home with urine. It was not nice. I am very sensitive smell, and I could smell it the minute I walked in. And so it's very frustrating, and it can actually be a very expensive problem to have when your cat does this. And so what are some of the common reasons why this happens? Cats, they're sensitive souls, which is why I love them. They're very sensitive. They're reactive to any change in the house. There are some that are really calm and collected, but a lot of cats, you move the furniture, all of a sudden your cat's peeing outside the litter tray. Your kid goes off to college, all of a sudden your cat's peeing outside the litter tray. Or they're peeing in the shoes, or they're doing something destructive. But we're focusing on urinary things, and a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about today, you can apply to other behavioral issues for your cats. That's the beauty of this, because there's typically an underlying theme why your cats do this. Number one reason why this happens, stress. Your cat is stressed. And we need to be ensuring that the cat has all the resources it needs. So if you have one cat, you need to have 2 litter trays. Some cats don't want to pee and poop in the same litter box. So you need to get an additional litter tray to ensure that they're not preferring to use your carpet. So if you have 2 cats, you need 3 litter trays. And this can be hard if you are in a smaller apartment, townhome. Yes, it's not fun having litter trays all over your house, but also it's not fun to have to replace your carpet because your cat's peeing all over it. Cat urine is really hard to get rid of. And so making sure that your cat has enough resources, enough litter trays, freshly clean litter trays. Who here has ever had a cat go to the bathroom right after you clean the litter tray? It happens every day in my house. And it's interesting. We clean the litter tray. I actually clean it twice a day usually because I can't stand the smell of their poop when they poop. So I clean it right after. But a lot of times I'll notice that they'll go right in. Cats want to be clean. They don't want to soil the house, but they also want a clean litter tray. So make sure you're cleaning that litter tray frequently. Make sure you have enough litter trays. Cats can be really sensitive to substrates too. So what that means is they might not like the litter, the feel of the litter on their toes, on their feet. So you can try different litters. There's all sorts of different ones. There's like wood chips, there's newspaper shreds, there's the clay, there's the clumping, there's all sorts of different litters. And also, a lot of times I find that pet parents will use litter that smells really good because we're masking the smell of their excrements. And cats are really sensitive to smells, and they'll prefer not to use the litter if they smell it. So if there's those artificial fragrances, we talked a lot about this in our essential oil webinar, if you're with us for that, with artificial fragrances. Not only is it not good for their health, but it's a really strong smell. And it's cats are very sensitive to it. So if you're using a scented litter and you're having issues with your cat going outside of the litter tray, you need to change to an unscented litter. That would be my first recommendation to you. Make sure you have, well, first, make sure you have enough litter boxes. Make sure you're cleaning it, and then change to an unscented. The other thing is do we have inter-cat issues? So this is all under the umbrella of stress. What's going on between the relationships with the cats in the household? Who here has more than one cat? We do. And I am seeing all sorts of things developing as we watch our kitten adapt to life, and our senior cat that's like, why did you bring this thing into my life? Not impressed. She's adapting. But what we've had to do is make sure there's resources in different areas of the house, because our little kitten, yes, he's got like issues. He likes to guard the stairs, and he chases her up the stairs, and he's crazy, and she's terrified of using the stairs now. Like, she knows she's going to be attacked. So what we can see, if you start watching your cats, like this can be really subtle. You might notice a cat sitting in a doorway and they're chilling. They might be sleeping. They're just hanging out. But what they're actually doing is they're controlling the situation with your other cat. They're actually keeping them from entering the room that the litter box, the food, the water, all the things are at. So we need to be watching for these subtle signs of there might be some inner cat dominance issues and subtle aggression. Aggression and dominance issues don't always end in fighting. Cats are they're smart. Cats are really smart, and they're also really sensitive. So if we don't have litter trays in different areas of the house, that can happen. So if you have more than 2 cats and there's something like that going on, we need to ensure that there's litter trays throughout the house. So if you have a cat who's more sensitive, who is being blocked from using that litter tray, they still have access. Also, food and water, making sure that they have those resources in different areas too. So we have litter tray separate in an open room, so there's multiple escape routes. There's a litter tray in the laundry area that they can use. And if that was the sole one, and I've seen it happening, the kitten will actually like go and attack Kiwi while she's going to the bathroom. And there's no way out. So if we didn't have any other litter trays, she most likely would start peeing on the carpet and expressing her frustrations and anger because she's terrified to go use a litter tray. Now that leads to the second, or to another area. So we're talking about stress. So how do you identify if your pet is stressed? It can be really subtle signs. So looking to see, is your cat spooky? Are they spooked easily, frightened easily? Are they running? Are they hiding under the bed? Do they have reduced appetite with a change that's happened in the house? Those can be some subtle signs of stress. So changes from their normal behavior. And what we can do to help with their stress also is we can use pheromones. So Feel Away is a great option. We have a blog post on cat stress. We have a vlog video on our YouTube channel. So if you need a deeper dive into cat stress, go check out that blog post at thenaturalpetdoctor.com. Go to our YouTube channel, The Natural Pet Doctor. We keep it super simple. Natural Pet Doctor. Just type it in, you'll find the resources. But blog posts, we have that. But we talk a lot about Feel Away, which is a cat pheromone. And the cat pheromones are great because we can use their plugins. It's like a Glade plugin, but it's not toxic to your cat or you. We don't even smell it. Plug it into the wall and it diffuses in the rooms where your cats spend the most time. So if you're having stress issues, put it where the litter tray is, put it where they sleep. There's also a spray that you can use. So if your cat is spraying, so the difference between actually squatting and peeing versus spraying is you're going to see your cat back up to the wall or whatever substrate, your furniture, your bed, and they lift their tail straight up and they do the little like shaky thing with their tail and they're squirting their urine straight into the thing that they're spraying. If they're actually like squatting and peeing, so their body is down usually like that, their tail is down, it's not straight up and they're back against what they're spraying, that's actually urination. So we can see the difference if they're spraying to mark their territory, if they're spraying because they're stressed, if they're peeing because they're stressed, or they have a urinary tract infection. So not all marking behaviors are just because of stress. Stress can lead to urinary tract infections in cats. They can get what's called a stress cystitis. This is one of the most common conditions we see in cats. And it's very important when you go to the vet to have them checked out, because this is a new behavior. We need to rule out underlying medical problems, that they run a urinalysis, they're looking for infection, and making sure that they're seeing bacteria in that urine. If they're not seeing bacteria and they're worried about infection, they can run a culture, they can send the urine off, but don't just give antibiotics to give antibiotics. Because now what we're doing is we're affecting the microbiome, the gut health of your cat. We're creating more inflammation. We're reducing their immune system when they're already stressed. There's already inflammation present that's irritating the bladder lining. You might see blood in the urine with stress cystitis, which you're like, oh my gosh, they have an infection. Rule out crystals in the urine, rule out bladder stones, rule out a urinary tract infection from bacteria. And then if we don't see any of that, this is where we need to focus on managing stress, getting them the resources, plugging in the feel away, spraying the feel away where they're marking. That's a great use of the spray feel away because it comes in all different forms. So plugging it in, but also using the spray. You can spray it on where they're marking once you've cleaned the urine as well as you can to get rid of the smell. And then spraying feel away. So the pheromone is what's released when they rub up against furniture. So your cat's like happy, they're super happy, they're rubbing, they're releasing pheromones. And that's what they've taken and bottled in feel away. So if you're seeing a change, take your cat into the vet, get them checked out, run a urinalysis to make sure that they don't have a bacterial infection, to make sure they don't have crystals, which can come with cats being on dry food. Who here has a cat eating dry food? Don't be ashamed. Like it's common. And a lot of times your vet's telling you to feed dry food to help their teeth. It's easy, it's convenient. The cats like the crunchiness, but it leads to urinary problems. It creates a chronically dehydrated cat because they don't have a strong instinct to drink. And so we're dehydrating them. We have probably some stress elements. We're setting up this perfect storm in the cat's body. So get them on wet food, get the water back in their body, get a cat water fountain, encourage the drinking, and that can help. And make sure you have multiple resources all over the house. I know that sucks, like especially the litter tray thing, it sucks, but I'd rather my cat not pee all over the carpet and have a litter tray out. I'm like, I have cats. If you don't like it, don't be my friend, right? I think you guys can all relate. You don't like pets, we don't vibe together. So that's fine, bless and release, right? You don't like litter tray, it is what it is. However, making sure, I love that. Okay, I'm in transition to raw food and my cat improved a lot. Yes, cats are obligate carnivores. What that means is they eat meat. They don't need carbs. Carbs are high in dry food. Our last webinar, which we had so many of you on, which was fantastic, was all about how to choose the best food for your dog and your cat. And it's in our Natural Pet Tribe membership. So if you want to watch it, I highly recommend it because it goes through reading ingredient lists. A lot of people think that the ingredient list is good. They look at it and they're like, yep, we got meat, we got the pea protein, we got all the things, we got the vegetables. No, because pea protein is high carbs, high fiber, sometimes too much. We're going to have potential taurine issues, creating heart issues. So we went through all of that. We also went through why cats need to be on wet foods, what brands are ideal for them, and raw food if we can transition them to it. Not every pet does well with raw food, so I'm not recommending right now that you jump straight from kibble into raw food. It's just like I just said, like what we're doing, Pheromone, I know I just butchered your name, so I apologize. It's beautiful. And I love that the transition to raw food, because we need to change the microbiome. We need to change the gut health, because digesting kibble is very different than digesting raw food. So if you want to go deeper in that, check out our Natural Pet Tribe membership. Go to thenaturalpetdoctor.com and you can be a part of it, and you can rewatch that whenever. And there's lots of other webinars that you can watch that help your pets, which leads me into another cause. We're going to come back to food because we're going to finish with food. I love food. I love nutrition because we can fix so many issues in our pets when we feed the appropriate diet. And food is the foundation for health. If we're not feeding the right food, we're going to be running in circles. So it's so important. So we'll finish with that, but it leads me into one of the other causes of urinary problems. And this is what will be ruled out at your vet, or should be ruled out: kidney disease. I posted on social media, if you follow me this week, I think it was yesterday, a scary quote. 75% of cats' kidney function is gone by the time we can diagnose it with routine blood work. That's your BUN, your creatinine. 75%. Like, there's other ways, and we've talked about that. We had another webinar on kidney disease that's in the membership. And there's other ways that we can diagnose it sooner, but this can make your cat pee a lot. It makes them drink a lot, so they have to pee a lot because their kidneys aren't functioning appropriately to keep the water in their body. And that can lead to accidents. It can lead to them having to pee outside the litter tray. It could lead to the litter tray being more full of urine because they're peeing a lot more and they may not want to use it. So we must rule that out. We also, preventative, we can track these trends with routine blood work every year. In cats, I recommend that. In dogs, annual blood work, even if it's normal. I can see trends. I can see if BUN and creatinine are coming up. There's an amazing test called an SDMA that elevates with 30% kidney function. It's much more sensitive than relying on BUN and creatinine to go up because we're waiting for 75%. There's all sorts of natural remedies, herbs, nutrition that we can use to fix that, but we need to be thinking about that with our cats. Stress. Okay, what are the things going on in the house? Is our cat stressed? Do we need to create a safe environment for them? Let's get the pheromones going. Are we having enough resources? Are we ruling out urinary tract infections, crystals that can come from feeding a dry diet, an appropriate diet for our cats? And then, do they have kidney disease? So making sure we're ruling all these things out. Now, here's an interesting thing that a lot of people don't realize. Gut health can create anxiety if it's not balanced. Weird, right? So this is what I do that I love. Looking at a pet from a Chinese medicine perspective, everything is connected. The bladder's not separate from the gut. The immune system's pretty much in the gut. That's what a lot of studies are showing, and which is incredible, which allows us to fix another part of the body, the root cause of disease, and resolve a completely unrelated problem. That's how cool looking at the pet as a whole, rather than looking at symptoms and looking at organ systems separately. That is the beauty of being able to integrate holistic medicine in with conventional. We can fix the root cause and we can help your pet heal. They're less anxious, they're less stressed. And now guess what? They don't have inflammation in their bladder anymore. And by feeding them the right food, we feed the microbiome, and then we're reducing inflammation. Your cat doesn't have crystals anymore because we got them on the right food. That's what I love. We can look at different areas and assess, like, okay, who has a cat that vomits? That's really common. That's a sign that the GI system, the microbiome, is off. Cats shouldn't be vomiting. Yes, they can bring up hairballs every now and then, but we also need to look at how frequently are they bringing up hairballs. So Kiwi, our senior cat, who's stressed because there's this crazy kitten that we brought into the house, She grooms more. If you see your cat grooming a lot, she's not creating sores, but she grooms more, and then she has more hairballs. Sign of stress. How do we alleviate that? Making sure she has a safe space, making sure her digestion is good. But cats they should not be vomiting every week. If they vomit here and there, yes, okay, fine. But I'm so tired of hearing that cats vomiting is normal. It's not. So if you're feeding a dry food diet, we're going to go into diet now and finish with that. So post your questions. With feeding dry food to cats, high carbs equal high sugar. Carbohydrates are converted to sugar in the body. Cats don't need it, neither do dogs. They can do great on low carb, high protein, and even a higher fat diet. So go to canned food, transition to a canned food only diet. They'll do great. They'll do a lot better than being on dry food. If you want to feed something that's like dry, like it, so similar, it's easy to put down, go to Ziwi Peak. Get a bag of Ziwi Peak for your cat, and it's air dried, it's organ meats, it's meats. So it's like feeding a meat diet, an optimal diet for a cat that's biologically available, meaning that it's easily broken down in the cat's body. But it's easier to give. Like, you can put it, it's expensive, of course, because the stuff in it is good quality. Organ meats, the meats are grass fed, they come from New Zealand. So those animals are raised right too. They're not pumped full of growth hormones, antibiotics, all of the things that we do to our pets. Not fed grains, they're eating grass, which they should. So all the things that an animal should be eating, Ziwi Peak uses that. So check them out. I love them. I don't see corn gluten meal. I don't see poultry byproducts. I don't see any of that junk that when you turn that bag around for your cat, I would put money on it. You're going to see some of that stuff. Natural flavors. What is that? Pet has a food sensitivity. We want to know what proteins are going into that cat so we can avoid it if there is a food sensitivity while we heal the gut. So first things first, cats on a dry food diet. As you transition, get them on a probiotic. Get them on a good probiotic. So broad spectrum, greater than 10 CFUs, colony forming units, 10 billion CFUs. So look for that. You want to see different species of bacteria, so probiotics, different strains that are in that product. And then get them on a digestive enzyme. That's key. They need to break down the proteins, the carbs, and the fats in order to utilize what's in that food. So first things first, your cat's on a dry food, get them on those supplements so that they're actually bringing that in. You're having a cat peeing outside the litter tray, get Cat Attract. It's a product that you can put in the litter to attract them back to the litter tray. Look at the resources. Are there enough litter trays? Are you cleaning it enough? So ensuring that we're doing those things, watching for a cat guarding access to the litter boxes, looking for inter-cat aggression, plugging in the feel away, using feel away, very important. So that needs to happen as we're transitioning diet. And transitioning diets can be very difficult for cats that are carbohydrate addicted. It's just a fact. Sometimes it takes months. So yes, it can be a long process. It can also be very frustrating, but we need to transition them off of the dry food onto a wet food. That's a great question. Gita, can you recommend any probiotics brand? So ProViable is a great option. And a lot of times I end up doubling that dose because the one that's easier to find is 5 billion CFUs. But I have some other probiotics that are on that I recommend too through some of the blog posts that I write also. So you can see those recommendations, or you can also message me and I can send you the links to the recommendations for probiotics, digestive enzymes, and other things to support their immune health and their GI health. So transition that diet, get them onto a canned food. If you own a cat, you need to go to catinfo.org. I'm going to repeat that, catinfo.org. This website's amazing. It's made by a veterinarian who's awesome. Dr. Lisa Pearson, and you can look at all the foods. So canned foods, because she's like, get your cat off dry because it's killing your cat, but canned foods. And you can see the protein, the fat, and the carbohydrate content, because when you look at your food, your pet's food, you will not find carbohydrate content. You can calculate it, but you won't find the carb content. We want cats to be fed a diet that's less than 10% carbs. That's ideal. So that'll be higher protein, higher fats, real foods. But people will say feeding Friskies canned food will be better than feeding a dry food. And you probably know, like, Friskies is not a very high quality food. However, it's higher protein, it's less carbs, it's more biologically appropriate for an obligate carnivore like a cat. So go to that website, check out those foods, read through all the information there, because it's amazing. When we fix your cat's microbiome, we fix their diet, we fix urinary tract issues, we fix crystals in the urine, we fix the pH of the urine. That's why the crystals resolve. And that's so important, because crystals in the urine creates inflammation, it hurts. And then they end up peeing outside the litter box because they're like, Mom, Dad, I hurt. Like, they're crying out for help. They're like trying to like tell you. I have pet parents that are like, my cat is a little jerk. Like, he like walked up to me and squatted and peed in front of my face. And I'm like, he's telling you, he's like, there's something wrong. Like, they can't talk to us. So he's like, hey, something ain't right here. Look, maybe this will get your attention. Like, take me to the vet. Let's get it checked out. So listen to them. They're not spiting you. They're not doing the things like that. They don't think that way. It seems like they do, but they don't. They're just trying to communicate like something is off. So we need to listen, but start changing that diet if you need to. Look at their resources. There's so many things that we can do. Add the cat attract to the litter tray. We can do essential oils for our cats too, diffusing them, diffusing calm blends like lavender and frankincense, using your therapeutic, organic, high quality essential oils. Go to Animal EO, take a look at the essential oils that she has there. There's an entire cat brand that she has that's safe for cats that you can use. There's lots of resources for these cats, but remember, they're not doing it to destroy our house. They're not doing it to, spite us. It's a frustrating problem. It can be a very expensive problem, but there's a lot of things that we can do, and we need to make sure they've got their space that's quiet, calm. They can get away from bullies in the house if there is a situation like that. Making sure that we're using the right litter, the substrate that they want and need, and then optimizing their immune health, optimizing their GI health, using the right foods, using the probiotics, using the digestive enzymes. If there's other issues that are going on, like kidney disease, reach out. We do phone consults for people anywhere in the world. We also do in-home consultations for the Northern Colorado region. So if you're near Fort Collins, thank you, Sherry, for sharing that, animaleo.org. So that's for the essential oils that are safe for cats, made by a veterinarian. I love them. I've used them on my cats. They're fantastic. But reach out. I love partnering with amazing pet parents like you. Like, it's fantastic. And what we can do then, if we get the food dialed in, we got all the other things going and optimize, sometimes we need a little bit of help to look for that root cause, because it may not be apparent. And then we can add in herbal medicine. And that's where I use Chinese herbal medicine, or looking at maybe we need these additional supplements to really fill in the gaps that the diet isn't reaching. Or if we do have to feed a dry food diet, what are those best brands for that cat? And that'll vary depending on what's going on, what we're actually treating. So there's a lot of things there that we can do. So don't feel alone, because you're not. Reach out. You can always join our private Facebook group too, the Natural Pet Doctor. Easy. Like, everything's the Natural Pet Doctor. So you can go there, join our community. We have some amazing pet parents in there that are using essential oils, giving good advice. I moderate it. We come in and do things. Like, there's a lot there. So join that if that's your first step. And go to our blogs. There's a lot of content we're posting every single week that cover cat stress, kidney disease in cats, how to raise a cat holistically, what vaccines to give. We've got an entire ebook, Holistic Wellness Guide for Cats. Check it out. Get it. It's like 10 bucks. It's nothing. And it's all the different stages of life for your cat, what vaccines to give, what's safe for them. My cat has an upper respiratory infection. What resources do I need? What supplements do I use? It's broken down for you. I wanted to make it easy, simple, and give you the resources so that your cat thrives and lives a long, healthy life. That's in our store, thenaturalpetdoctor.com. And then Gita, my cat always uses the litter boxes, but only pees once a day and has always done, a big clump. Do I need to worry? If that is the normal behavior of your cat, I wouldn't worry. So I wouldn't worry about that. If you see changes, so what you want to watch for, changes in drinking levels. Is your cat by the water bowl all the time? And then if you're noticing like there's 2 big clumps now, that could be a problem. But the thing that we can do is we can, at the annual wellness exam for your cats, which I recommend, do the urinalysis, see if the urine's concentrated, make sure that the blood work's normal. So BUN, creatinine, if they can run SDMAs, I know you're in Europe. So I believe they can do all of those tests. So make sure they're running that every year, because then you're gonna pick up if there is kidney disease, if there is a problem, and we can fix it. There are herbs that we can use to reverse kidney disease, which is so cool. And yes, Gita, we do phone web consults outside US. I have clients, UK, New Zealand. So Zoom goes anywhere. That's what's amazing about right now. And it's not going away. We have the ability to connect across the ocean. And just because you're in a different country doesn't mean that we can't help your pet. And the brands might be different. Yes, definitely. All different brands. But what we can do is we can look at ingredient lists and we can assess that. How does that fit for your pet? And that's what I love. Like, I get goosebumps talking about it because I'm like, it's fun. Like, we can fix pets by using the right foods. And just because you have different brands, we can look it up. That's the beauty of having the internet. So, which is fantastic. So hang in there if you have a cat with urinary issues. I'm going to be posting this weekend or at the start of September, the next series of our coffee talks with the doc, because I love doing this every Saturday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. But I want to hear from you guys. So send me what topics you want me to cover. I've had requests for dental health, like stomatitis, gingivitis, inflammation of the gums in cats. So I get requests for like, how do we heal the microbiome in our cats and our dogs? We could talk about pain. We can talk about dental disease. We can talk about vomiting. There's anything we can cover. That's what I love. So, and we'll put a natural perspective twist, give you some resources and tools that you can use to implement into your pets' lives to help them live and thrive naturally. So send those to me. I want to hear from you so I can make sure that we're creating the content that you guys need and want for your pets. So you can either send a direct message with the topics you would like to have covered. You can also email us at info@thenaturalpetdoctor.com, just letting us know topics, and also let you know our webinar series that are coming out. So stay tuned for that. We'll be posting that all on social media. So make sure you're following us, The Natural Pet Doctor, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe, like our YouTube channel. Let's spread it so people can access it. And great. That is awesome. I just got a topic, how to improve immunity naturally in FIV, FELV cats. That's a fantastic topic. So I love that. So thank you. And let's do this together. I'm so excited. I always appreciate everyone who jumps on live. You can always watch the replays on YouTube, so check those out. We'll get those posted for you. And check out thenaturalpetdoctor.com. Join our Natural Pet Tribe. There's amazing content in there. All of our monthly webinars and bonus webinars go in there for you to watch whenever you want. You got a cat, you need some help, you're not ready for a personalized consultation, go check out and get our Cat Holistic Wellness Guide. Naturalpetdoctor.com. Go to the store, you'll see the Cat Holistic Wellness Guide, and that will help you through each life stage of your cat. You have it for life. So whenever you get a new cat, you can refer back to it. And I'll update it too. So if there's any updates, I'll send them out to the people that have already purchased. So, all right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for following us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing this. Share it with other pet parents. Let's spread the word. Natural medicine, integrating it into conventional, works really well to help our pets thrive and live a long and vibrant life. All right, I'm Dr. Katie Woodley, the Natural Pet Doctor. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.